What's up, good people of the internet? This is Tortora and Alford, myself, Dan Tortora, and Isaac Alford. And you can see the Wake Up Call shirt, the Dan Tortora Broadcast Media shirt, undefeated, and so is the bucket hat for Syracuse as they get a 59-0 victory. Syracuse scored on 8 of their 10 possessions. The only 2 possessions they didn't score on, they didn't lose the ball. They ran out the first half clock, ran out the second half. So I don't think those count against them. Perfect, in my opinion, in scoring besides running the clock out. So, thoughts?
Yeah, definitely still perfect. You brought up a good question. I was just thinking, I was like, holy smoke, I was thinking, because the crowd was going wild when they didn't go for that fourth down and they kicked the field goal with Schmidt and they stayed perfect. But this the kneel down count against the red zone offense, but I don't think it will. So, yeah, they're definitely perfect. It was a game that came out, definitely did handle business and got a couple of the backups in to help kind of show what the future of the Orange football may look like in a couple of years. So, they handle business going to the bye week, and hopefully they can just rest up and be prepared for NC State.
Want to shout out Umari Hatcher, wide receiver for Syracuse, getting a 16-yard touchdown grab in the back of the end zone from Garrett Shrader's pass in the second quarter, his first collegiate touchdown. And LeQuint Allen in the third quarter, who had an 8-yard run that is his first career touchdown as well, and his coming on the ground as a running back for the team. So big shout out to LeQuint and Umari, who made history today.
Yeah, definitely. That's the future. That's what I'm saying. These young guys are hungry. They do it in practice, and now they had an opportunity to step in the game and play and show what they were all made of.
Big-time game. Syracuse did not allow a single point. They forced Wagner to punt on every single one of their possessions. And I was thinking about that, too. I'm like, Syracuse is perfect on their possessions except for running the clock out. So I don't know if they count against them. I don't think they should.
No, it should.
And so Syracuse 5-0. They have a bye week for this upcoming weekend of October 8th. Shout out to my dog, Shady in heaven. That's her birthday. And then Syracuse will be back at it in the Dome right behind us here on October 15th as they have to run the gamut and play NC State, Wake Forest, Clemson, Boston College, Pittsburgh, bunch of Notre Dame, bunch of games coming up here that are definitely going to test the Orange.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they handled business in the first part of the season. 5-0 now. Like you said, it's going to get in time to the tough part of the conference. The Atlantic Division is always tough. So, but they're going to come out hopefully and try to do their best to handle some business. Hey, we just need one, but the more the merrier.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Any thoughts for you top of mind after a game like this?
No, not really, because the opponent, Wagner had to do what they could do against, these athletes that Syracuse has is just, very dominant. But the thought is, they try to come out healthy as possible. Got a little dinged up on a couple of players, but just time to rest their bodies and get back into it.
Sean Tucker, 232 yards. 22 carries in the first half for 227 yards. 1 carry in the second half, and we don't know why. But it's got 1 carry in the second half, 23 carries, 232 yards on the game for 10.1 yards per carry and 3 rushing touchdowns. I'm going to keep being loud.
Just keep going.
So he averaged 10.1 yards per carry, 3 rushing touchdowns, and with 2,668 yards in his career in, believe it or not, folks, just 2 seasons and change. In 26 games played, Sean Tucker has 2,668 yards, which puts him 7th all-time. The next one up to beat is number 6, Floyd Little, who has 2,704. And Sean will get an extra week to get his body ready and to get healthy for being banged up. Garrett Shrader, shout out, 17 for 17. The man has been a magician with his passes. Also credit to the receivers for catching the balls and to the offensive line for protecting them. And shout out to my guy who's running vice president with me. That is Enrique A. Cruz Jr., who got in early in this game, had some ample time on the offensive line. So a lot of great stuff with the Syracuse Orange, did what they needed to do. Games of the past that were a game like this, they would barely win. This one they win at 59-0 and are now 5-0 on the season. Did not turn the ball over and really, did everything they could. Plus, made history in the fact that I've never seen a Division I team play shortened quarters, which Dino said that him and the Coach Masella of the Wagner Seahawks agreed at halftime to play 10-minute quarters instead of 15 minutes, which took 10 minutes off the game clock in the second half and ended the game early.
Yeah, it was no use to beat up on Wagner any more than what they did. You know, it was a good game that they came up here and tried their best. But you know, I think that's a good relationship between two coaches that you see in the off season. Sometimes Syracuse goes down to Staten Island and hold camps with Wagner, so there was no use to adding on to that. So that was just gentleman's agreement, two good sportsmanship attitudes there. You know, hey, let's get our teams out of here and get back and do what we got to do.
Final note, 40,000 people. I've asked you 4 times now. I will ask you a 5th time. Show up October 15th, 6 days before my birthday, to this dome right behind me and give us at least 40K to see Syracuse play top 10 NC State.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. NC State got a good one tonight. You know, they're going to be facing, I believe, a hungry Florida State team that just lost to Wake Forest. So that's kind of how I look at the schedule coming down the stretch for Syracuse, as we just talked about. You know, there's a lot of teams ahead of us that are going to be having some good competition. Before we even played the Clemson game, I think Clemson's playing Florida State that week prior. So, you know what, that might be a little beneficial to us. They might get a little banged up. You know, you don't want to wish ill on nobody, but you know what? You know, that's part of football. You know, people go down, but if Syracuse can handle business and stay healthy, you never know what can happen.
Clemson, Florida State, as well as Wake Forest and NC State all beating up on each other before they see Syracuse, like Isaac noted here. So, from the Dome, this is Tortora and Alford. We will have plenty more coming up for you as your bye week will not go silent, because we'll make sure of it on Wake Up Call. As always, we'll talk with you soon. Stay safe and be well, and get your behind to the Dome on October 15th.